JazzCast Pros.
Welcome to Beauty Boss Millionaire, the live edition. This is the boss talks that we're having with other boss people that are sharing this space with us. And we're just so excited that we're able to be live and have these conversations on how to win as an entrepreneur, how to be successful as an entrepreneur. So we have TONI Coleman Brown on the line. I'm going to go into her bio in a minute, but we also have Jazzy T from JazzCast Pros. She's also the producer for Beauty Boss Millionaire. She's been my right hand ride or die chick along the way, just helping, pushing me because, you know, boss friends need other boss friends. And I'm just so grateful that she is just here with me and she edits my shows. She helps me out. And TONI is this awesome, amazing woman, and Jazzy connected the two of us. In short, TONI is an author. She's a coach. She's a digital marketing expert, a motivational speaker. She's also the founder of Network for Women in Business and the creator of an Entrepreneur Success University, which is an online educational platform. So she is ESU University. I love it. And her platform features programs and courses that can teach entrepreneurs on how to grow their business. Shout out to Howard. Woo! Howard in the building. And she has her Master's of Arts in Creative Writing. She's just on a mission to fulfill her God-ordained purpose to help people impact the lives of hundreds and millions. She's in Queens. She's a Queens girl. You know, I'm from Manhattan and from New York. So I'm just honored to have you today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here as well with another Beauty Boss Millionaire, with the Beauty Boss Millionaire, I should say. I just love everything that you're doing, Felicia. I have to tell you that, you know, it's motivating, it's inspiring, and I'm watching you opening up stores, new stores, and expanding all across the United States. It is truly inspiring. You working hard, girl.
Girl, sometimes my husband has to tell me to sit down and take a vacation. He's taking me to Key West this weekend just because you're right. You know, we get into we're ambitious women, you know, we're abnormal to some people because we want to win and we want others to win. And we're so passionate about it. And it's just really awesome that we're able to talk about this, you know, and being a boss. If you don't mind, how'd you get all started? I know, but tell everyone else.
So for me, basically, I got started actually in a home-based business. I really found my passion in network marketing. I became like a three-diamond national vice president with a company called Warm Spirit. And, you know, one of the things I discovered when I was doing this business was that I really enjoyed training and really working with women and helping them to grow. And it was during that business that I actually wrote my first book. And I remember back in 2010, you know, my mom passed away. And when my mom passed away, I really kind of, you know, said, okay, you know, you've been doing this home-based business. What is it that you really want to do? And, you know, I fell back on what I enjoyed about the home-based business, which was training and coaching and things like that. And I said, you know what, I'm going to start a network and I'm going to do this. I'm going to help other women. And, you know, it's funny because when I first built the platform out, I wasn't even really thinking of myself. I was actually thinking about other people, other speakers, other coaches, other trainers that really hadn't had the opportunity to have a voice. So I said, I'm going to build this platform and invite other people on the platform. And little did I know that people were connecting with me. People wanted to hear from me. And so I was just like, oh, wow. And I just kind of kept at it. And you know, had a lot of bumps in the road and, you know, pivoted and switched and, you know, tried pretty much almost everything as it relates to memberships with, you know, opening cart, closing cart, all of that stuff, and really started hitting my groove a couple of years ago and really started growing and finding the right tools to, you know, host my course and my membership and my courses and my membership. And it's really taken off. And I mean, and what I've loved is just the ability to impact people from all around the world. I mean, we also host live virtual speed networking events, and we get people from the Philippines, from the UK, from Africa, from Dubai, from
Wow.
all over. and it's really exciting, and it's just motivating. And also, I mean, I'm having fun. So they say when you're having fun, work becomes play, and it's not really work at all. And I think that's one of the reasons why we tend to work all day and sometimes all night, right?
Yes, I can't turn it off sometimes. I'm sure y'all can relate if y'all are entrepreneurs. Sometimes you can't turn that thing off.
Right, right.
Well, this is awesome what you're doing. I mean, I heard you say, you're empowering people, you're helping people from all over the world. I mean, this is really a great calling God has really placed on your life. I feel like you carry such a light that people just come to you for help. And then sometimes God will lead people in your path so you can help out, because I believe that people want more, and most people do want more, and it's just hard sometimes because they don't know where to start. So for someone that's just starting off and trying to start their own business or trying to get themselves in a better position, what advice would you give them?
Well, basically, I would say there are certain things that you must do to get your business started right from the start, so that you don't have many problems. And some of those things would be definitely, some of the first things people do is they come up with a name, then they run and they go to GoDaddy or wherever, and they capture the URL, and they feel really safe and secure that they have their business and their business name. But I would tell people, kind of do a little bit more, do a search, in your state, make sure that nobody else is using your business name so that you can secure it. And then once you do a search in your state, you want to make sure that you go and you register your business with your local county clerk's office. And then, even more importantly than that, you want to do a search with the United States Trade Office, right? You want to, the UPTO, the United States Patent and Trade Office, and just make sure that nobody else is using your business name anywhere in the United States. And I almost want to say you want to do that first. And then if nobody else is using it, you love the name, register it, get the trademark just for the name, just to make sure that you're safe and that nobody else can come to you with a cease and desist and say, you know what, we have that name, we own that mark, and you can't use it anymore. I mean, that would really be a tragedy. I mean, so I think those are some of the first steps, but definitely get a good accountant and get your business registered, whether it's going to be a sole proprietor or an LLC. Do all of those things right from the start. And, that way you're setting up your business on a strong foundation. You want to go ahead, and once you get your business registered and you get your business certificate, get a business bank account, make sure that you're not commingling your personal income and expenses with your business income and expenses. You want to make sure that everything is clean and in order, because you don't want to have any trouble down the road with people saying, hey, I have that trademark, or the IRS saying, hey, you didn't declare all of the sales tax that you were supposed to declare, and all of these other things. You just want to set your business up on a strong foundation right from the start so that you don't have any problems down the road. So that's probably the best advice. But then, the next thing I would say is, don't forget about marketing and promoting your business, because
Right.
after you've done all of that, saddling up, because that's what I call it. I call it saddling up, because, a lot of people feel like, once they do all of those things and get their website up, they're like, hey, I'm in business. But then they don't realize that there's work that you have to do after that. It's almost like when you write a book, you can deliver the book, but there's work that you have to do once the book is ready and printed. And it's a never ending job of marketing and promoting your business. Most businesses go out of business because they fail to innovate and they fail to market. I was talking to this woman the other day who wrote the book Exit Rich, Michelle Seiler Tucker. And one of the things she discovered in her research is that, it's not the startups that are going out of business, because it used to be a time when a business wouldn't last 5 to 10 years, but it's the legacy businesses that are going out of business today. And the startup businesses are the ones that are lasting because they're innovating and they're continuing to market and promote their business. But like the older businesses, like the Sears and, the Kmarts that have been doing things the way they've always done it, those are the ones that are going out of business. So, once you spend all of that time saddling up and getting all your stuff in order, definitely make sure that you stay in that marketing and promotion mode, because that's the thing that's going to drive your sales, and that's the thing that's going to sustain your business. So that's my best advice.
Wow, that you dropped like 20 gems. Thank you for that. No, really, seriously, that is what I preach. I love what you said, building the foundation to the business. That is the key thing that we spend a lot of time in Beauty Boss Millionaire talking about, because sometimes people just have an idea, but it's not just the idea. There's so many things that are involved in setting up the foundation for the business. Like you said, the accountant, not commingling. I can go on what you just said. That was really, really helpful for a lot of people that, are starting a business. And then we have some in the room that, like you said, once you get it going, now marketing it. That's really important to keep the business, afloat.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that there's two things I want to ask you. The first thing, I want you to tell us about this foundation that you have, the Network for Business.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit about that, because there might be some women and entrepreneurs in the room that might want to, move on with you and take some of these classes that you have, these trainings. I love the slogan that you have, "We educate to elevate." And then we're going to talk about your current, because you're still currently the director of recruitment and internships at the New York City Transit, correct?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, so you wear a lot of hats. I don't even know how you're sleeping.
Sometimes
I didn't.
I wonder myself. I'm telling you, sometimes I wonder myself. But you know what? A lot of it is just because of passion, right?
Yes.
So basically, with the Network for Women in Business, that, like I said, that has been my passion for years now, and I love really working with entrepreneurs. And people can find out more about that at the Network for Women in Business.com. Right now, we don't have membership open. I like to close membership and open membership, and basically, I do that because I want to, just I like to get a group of people in, work with them, and help them get all their questions answered. And we do group coaching. So it's like every Monday night at 9 p.m., we do group coaching. And also with the network, every month I deliver something that I like to call a business toolkit. So basically, I deliver some piece of content for them that can help them grow and, really help them to market and promote their businesses. So I have about 100 women that are a part of the network right now, and we're growing. And basically, I work with them, and we get together every Monday night, like I said, and you get your questions answered. And usually we have a topic of discussion, and we're always talking about things that will help move your business forward. Now, with that, the slogan "Educate to Elevate" is also a method. And I believe in education based marketing, and I believe that that's what you're doing with your podcast. That's what I do with my podcast, and with all of my social media channels that I have. I really push out great content that's meant to educate people. And once you're educated, like people always say, a mind is a terrible thing to waste. You've heard that slogan, right?
Yes. Yes.
And yeah, and basically, I feel like once people have been stretched, it's like you can't go back. It's like once you know better, now you
Do
must
better.
do
That's
better.
right.
So basically, I believe in education, and I believe that the more you educate people and the more you push great content out, the more you're going to attract the right people to you, because everybody can't learn from everybody,
Right.
and I believe that some people have unique ways of educating, and everybody has a gift. Everybody does. And when you utilize that gift and you push out that great content, you're not, you can't help but attract people that are meant to be in your tribe. So that educate to elevate, is a motto and a method. And now with, me working in recruitment, I really work with young people. So I run an internship program. I recruit for, interns. I recruit for apprentices, but it's a lot of young people that I work with. And I'm very passionate about that because they are the future. And I believe that when they have opportunities to grow, that we all win. We all win in that type of environment because they are learning and they're earning at the same time. So it's really a win-win situation. So because all of it is passion driven, none of it feels overwhelming to me. I mean, all of
Right.
it feels very, very rewarding. I mean, I had a young lady that just, became an apprentice come to me and say, I feel like you've raised me because I
Wow.
remember when I was an intern and, you were there and I remember you and you helped us out and, you said all of these great things that have stuck with me. And now she's going to be working full time as an apprentice in a male dominated area, and she's just so excited and so thankful. And it's all about that for me. It's all about seeing the, sparkle in their eyes. And really a lot of those people that come through those programs, a lot of them, if you hear their stories, the impact is not just on them, it's actually on their entire family. I had one young lady that came through the program and said that, you know what, this program has helped me not only, help myself, but I've been able to get a house for my family. I've been able to get a car. I've been able to help out my family in DR. So that's everything. That's everything right there. So my, like if anybody can say, like, after I leave this earth, I want the word to be impact. Right now, you may not know me as Oprah, you may not know me as Cardi B, but you know what? I will be that little unsung hero that has had an impact on the lives of thousands of people. And it will, because that's a ripple effect right there when you're able to, somebody says, you know what, I've been able to impact my family here, I've been able to impact my family in DR. That's huge. That's big for me.
Right.
I sleep good at night.
Wow. Well, you definitely sound like you have the keys to unlock and help other people. I mean, just kind of what you spoke on is just like so powerful on, helping other people. Like you said, you're passionate, so it doesn't really feel like work. I mean, you sound so much like me. It's scary. And now I'm starting to realize, you said I always say that everyone has a gift.
Yep.
The Bible talks about it. A lot of people won't want to reference the Bible, but the truth of the matter is, so many people have a gift, and you have to find out what your gift is to unlock that. You have to find out what that gift is so you're able to do more with your life and just kind of get things going, because sometimes you don't know where to start. And then
Right.
God places people in your life like Toni Coleman Brown who can help you, elevate and quantum leap your life. I see you wrote a book on quantum leap. Hold on, what's it say? Hold on.
Yep. How to make a
Quantum,
quantum leap in your network marketing business. That
yes.
was the book because like here's the thing when a lot of people are in the home based business, and this was so crazy for me. I mean, I could recruit people like, like nothing into my home based business, right? But sometimes people would say, you know what? I don't really want to be a part of the business, but you know what? I want to buy that book you wrote, And so there would be a lot of entrepreneurs that really wanted to, just learn how to, elevate, go to the next level. But one of the things I did with that book was I said, the best way to really train my team and really duplicate myself is to have a product that I could put in their hands that could help them to really know what I know, and do what I do. And that's why I created that book. But it's a lot of people, it's so funny because I wrote the book like wow, I think back in 2006. And a lot of people have utilized that book and it's helped them. I had this one guy He lives in the UK, and he just really wrote this on my YouTube page just a couple of days ago. He said, "You don't realize how much your book has impacted me and my family." You know what I mean? So sometimes we do things, and we don't even know what we're doing it or why we're doing it. But I said, you know what? Hey, I have this master's degree in creative writing. I might as well use it, right? So I did that book, and it's helped so many people. So I think it's staying in line with that motto and that method, educate to elevate. And I think that pretty much everything that I do kind of falls in line with that. So I'm glad to be in
Yes.
alignment, and I believe that it's an alignment, it's a vertical alignment that leads straight to the most high God, you know?
Yes, yes, girl. You preaching today. I'm about to do a little shout in this house here. Don't get me started. Can the audience say amen?
All right, all right. That's what I'm talking about.
I love what you're saying. Like this is all so it's so refreshing to hear people that have the same vision as we do at Beauty Boss Millionaire. All people, well, all the women that are listening to the episodes in the podcast, they really want better. They want to do better. They want to leave a legacy behind. I heard you say that when you leave this earth, you want to be able to impact thousands, which I know you're going to impact millions. You are just doing it because when you impact one, you're
Yeah.
impacting so many lives of that one person. They've got families, and you know and you just have this teaching ability. I could almost hear it in your voice. You have this ability to teach people and help them out, and you make it easy for them. You make it easy and not so stressful, and that's a gift
Right.
itself.
Right.
At this time, I'm going to open the floor. If anyone has any questions for Toni, I'd love to open the floor. You just call in, hit the button. I'll allow you to speak if you have any questions. Or Jazzy, if you wanted to say something or ask any questions, because Toni just gave it to us straight. She's a New Yorker. She just got straight to the point. I remember I miss my days in New York. I just really miss them. I used to live on 34th and Ninth,
Oh,
and I
wow.
used to live up at yep, and I used to live up in Harlem, and
Mhm.
I just had the ball of my life in New York living, and then I would go back and forth between upstate New York, back to New York, back and forth. So it's just
Yeah.
been a blessing to live in so many different places with my business. Every time I would come somewhere, I would be there to open up my business, and I would have to, and I was same thing like you along the way, recruiting people, educating people, and
Yes.
and because once you, like you said, once you know better and you are in a position where you cannot work for a person, or you don't feel like it's necessary because you have your own business, you don't want to go back to the old. It's one of those things you just don't,
Right.
go back
And
to the old.
yeah, and you know what? A lot of people kind of look at like look at things, and they see, they see one thing, and they see because you make it look easy that it's always easy, but it's not always easy. It's a lot of work. At the same time, when you love what you do, work becomes pretty easy, but it does take work. Now, here's the one thing that I found, because I have worked with a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of female entrepreneurs, a lot of male entrepreneurs. But let me tell you where a lot of people get tripped up. A lot of people get tripped up because they fear, and it's a big fear, they fear technology, they fear change a lot of times. And also, they get tripped up with shiny object syndrome, because they'll look at you, Felicia, and they'll say, you know what? I'm going to do what she did. And then, they'll look at Toni and they'll say, you know what? I'm going to do what she's doing too. And then they'll look at somebody else and they'll say, you know what? I like that. And I'm going to do what she's doing too. And then when you talk to them, it's like they're all over the place. They
Right.
can't figure things out because their mind is just cluttered. Instead of just kind of like, saying, you know what, this is kind of my lane. And I'm going to stay right here in my lane. And I'm going to, I'm going to build this lane all the way out until I reach my destination.
Right.
And a lot of people, they start down the lane and then they build the lane and then they get off on the side street and they forget about what their real purpose and why is. and then they get stuck on the side street. Or a lot of people start building a lane and they realize that they have to learn something new. And then, when it comes down to learning something new, they're like, oh my God, I can't do
Right.
this.
So they get
And then
stuck.
it's not about, and then they get stuck. So a lot of people get tripped up. And then a lot of times they'll say, you know what? I tried that and it didn't work, but they didn't see it through all the way to the end. So a lot of times, and then this whole concept too of reverse engineering a process. So like, they see what you do and they think they could just look at your videos or watch your testimony or listen to your testimony and feel like they can reverse engineer your process. But you have to follow your own process, establish your own method, and do your own thing. And you have to like really, and I'm sure you've probably experienced this in your business where you've had to, like, you go in one direction and you know what, that doesn't work. So let me move that, display over here like this.
Yep. Yep.
And then you're like, okay, well, that didn't work. Okay, well, let's try putting these self-liquidating items over here and see how much of that we can say. Oh, well, that didn't work. But you keep going at it until you find the things that do work.
Yes.
But people get tripped up because they go down a path, they don't see that path all the way through to the end, and they don't try different things to make it work and to build out their complete process, and they end up quitting. And a lot of times most people quit when they're like right there. They're like
Yeah,
right
they're so
there.
close. It's so funny
Yeah.
that you said that. You're 100% right, because some people don't think out the process. That's why I always tell people, write down, research, 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 think it out thoroughly, look in, look at it several different ways, mastermind it, and be committed to that thing. Because I'll tell
Hmm.
you, entrepreneurship, like you said, it looks easy. People see me and they see all the shiny cards and glitter and glitz and gold, but they didn't see when I was up crying 3 o'clock in the morning because I couldn't figure out how
Hmm.
to do an SEO. And I was trying to speak with the web developers. They weren't putting the button up right. And I was getting stressed
Hmm.
out, had to work 5 hours later, had 2 hours of sleep. They didn't see when I was doing a grand opening, the workers didn't show up, the people that were supposed to be
Hmm.
helping. They don't see all that goes into it. They didn't see the
Hmm.
resilience that I had to have. There's something that's in the sauce, which is having that resilience, being able to think outside the box, not letting one little small problem stop you so you don't shut down.
Right,
Because
right.
so many people, they will shut down after they are confronted with a problem. And I remember I was speaking to this group and they said, Felicia, has there ever been a time that you just wanted to quit and give up and just stop and just go back to being a 9 to 5? And I'm like, no, that's never been an option for me. That's like me saying, do I want to
Right,
go back to slavery? No, I'll
right,
never go back. As bad as it ever gets, I can't
right,
go back. I know too much now. And not that only do I know too much, but I know how to do it. And so my
right.
business, I was able to just expand it and take it to different cities. And the same recipe worked. Maybe I had to do a little bit, like you said, a little bit
Little
different
bit
tweaks
different.
because like,
Yep.
in Florida where I'm at now, there's a lot of different cultures and they don't understand certain things. And I had to hire more staff that was bilingual, and I had to do a whole lot of other things that I never had to do in different markets. And even the
Hmm.
approach, almost most of the girls are trilingual that I employ. And
Wow.
from there, I was able to take it and being a wise steward with the money after. Even there's so much that goes into running a business. I had to be wise with the money. Like every
Yep.
time I got the money, I was able to multiply that money, and I was able to start buying homes up, buying up properties, buying up Airbnbs. I never thought I'd own over 10, 15 properties on Airbnb. I didn't think that. And
Wow.
these businesses are producing more income. And then from
Hmm.
there, I was able to get into the market of Toro. Then I opened up a cleaning business, and then I opened up a hair salon. And then so my hands are constantly busy with something, but I said, God, if you give me $100, I will multiply it. If you give me
Hmm.
$1,000, I'll multiply that by 1,000. So God knows that,
Hmm.
that was, and I do the radio show, and I was speaking to my radio show last night about being financially responsible, because part of the business is being financially responsible too. You have
Right,
to make sound decisions. Yes, you're going to lose some, but you're not supposed to lose all the time. You have to make good decisions so you're
right.
not messing up the money. And like you said, being responsible and making sure that the money is not being spent out. You're not mixing your business and your personal. A lot of people make that mistake when they first open up that
Hmm.
business. My accountant
Hmm.
I didn't even have an accountant, and I knew better not to do that just from hearing conversations. And then my accountant's like, "Wow, you're pretty good, but not mixing everything." I'm like, "Oh, it's because I kind of did some research first." So,
Right.
I just want to open the floor up. Is there anyone else that has any questions for Toni? I know we have to wrap it up, but this woman is a gem. I'm gonna have to talk to you. I'm gonna have to call you after this.
That sounds good. Listen, I'm telling you, you're really doing some big things, and I know that, people are like just listening and admiring that. And I love the way you've been able to diversify your portfolio of businesses. One question I have for you,
Yes.
do you have any partners?
It depends on the business. It
Mhm.
does depend
Mhm.
on your business. But I don't have any partners with because Fracassi Lashes was primarily something I created.
Right.
I can say technically on some paperwork, I did realize that I needed to add someone. So in case of you get sued, so you can add people.
Right.
If it's just you, and they can still sue you. A lot of people don't know that
Right.
they can still
Right.
sue you. So for legality reasons, I do have people that are maybe on paperwork as the partners, but
Mhm.
I actually did have a partnership at one point for a hair salon, and it
Mhm.
was one of the big. I don't want to say one of the biggest mistakes, but it was a bad mistake because the girl didn't have any money to put up, but I still was kind enough to put her down as a 50% owner. And after her realizing how much work it was, after I want to say 2 months, she just up and left. Didn't even because she had no skin in the
Yeah.
game, meaning that she had nothing to lose. So if she walked away, she didn't care. And I'm like, why? Here I was putting up 30, 40, $50,000 and, making the place nice, hiring the workers, paying out staff. She just up and left one day. There was literally no reason behind it. We even had a meeting and her lawyer said, do you think you're being a little unfair? Felicia's kind of set the stage. You're being a little unfair. The word actually they used was greedy because she was like, I want more, I want more. And we're looking like, this business just got started, and that was a mistake that I made. So don't make the
Yeah.
same mistake I made, y'all. Make sure that you find the right business partner that understands how much work is going to be committed to the business.
Right, 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 right. And yeah, that's good advice. And I was just wondering, and I was just curious because I do have another business where I have a partner. But it's working out well because we're almost like sisters. So that's working out
Oh, that's good.
extremely. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. But I have noticed that quite a few people that have, really looked to take their business to the next level or to really just scale it have gotten, partners to come in and, have helped them to scale their businesses, which has been good. But also you spoke a whole lot of truth with those LLCs because I mean, if we can't learn anything from Donald Trump and Betsy DeVos, when they came into leadership in government, I mean, they had like hundreds and hundreds of LLCs and licensing agreements and all kinds of stuff. So it's almost like every year you should be forming a new LLC.
Yes, yes, seriously, you're right. My
That's like
husband and
a tax
I,
strategy.
yeah, it really is. And I'm telling you, this is what happens when you start to accumulate wealth. You need to start
Yep.
protecting yourself. And my
Yep.
husband and I, I always say we're just little kids trying to figure it out. And soon we were like, wait a minute, we need to formulate another LLC. And then
Hmm.
we got to the level now where we're doing trust. Forget the LLCs. We're doing trust now where we can
Wow.
protect ourselves. When people look and search for us, they won't find that we own anything because people will come after you once you start accumulating a certain amount of wealth. They want to find you. They just like all of a sudden you open a business, 2 weeks later you get in the mail credit card offers, you get this, that, because you've been entered into a database. We don't
Right.
want to be entered in any databases because people are crazy nowadays. I hate to say it, but we're in a world now where people might just come and just do things for no. They see, look, my title. I contemplated, do I even want to name this podcast Beauty Boss Millionaire because of the millionaire part? I don't want people trying to rob me or do anything to me, but we live in a gated community where you have to get in and get out now with the code. So it's just like little things that you kind of you have to protect yourself and you have to protect your children because I've heard of stories of people that had money or even celebrities where people are jumping over their fence and trying to get to their kids. They'll steal their dog. One lady had her dog stolen and they found the dogs for ransom, or people do crazy stuff. So you have to protect yourself in LLCs and trusts, and you have to protect your business. You have
Mm-hmm.
to protect your money because y'all see Donald Trump and pay $0 in taxes. Why is
Exactly.
that? Because he did everything right as far as legality reasons. He did everything right. I'm not saying he did everything right morally, but legally he had a person that was able to file different LLCs, and he was able to make his profit and loss statement look such a way that he didn't have to pay taxes.
Makes
So,
sense.
and yep.
I do want to acknowledge the Front Seat Life, Living the Front Seat Life host is on. Her name is Kelly Marie, and she has a beautiful orange scarf on in the bottom. And then
Hey,
we also
Kelly.
have so I was hoping that she could call in and kind of say something because she's right up there with you ladies as far as just ordained by God. I mean, literally, she a minister just recently and just was able to create an LLC for her mentoring company and just helping people through different struggles and turning it into a business, and also podcasting itself is a business,
Yeah.
and that's a role that I believe that a lot of people are discovering in the pandemic. How can we share our message with more people? And I would love for Felicia and Toni, if maybe starting with Felicia, if you could start with why you decided to start this Beauty Boss Millionaire podcast, and what your hopes and your ultimate goal is for this.
Sure. So, Beauty Boss Millionaire was birthed through the passion that I have, and I don't want to just say passion, the burning desire that I have to free other people. I know what it's like to come from nothing. I know what it's like to be on welfare. I know what it's like to want to go in a store and you can't buy basic necessities. That's horrible to live like that. And knowing what I know now, you cannot shut me up. I have to help people. It's horrible because I've accumulated so much wealth, and I don't want to sound braggadocious, but coming from welfare to where I'm at now, I've accumulated wealth. I know how easy it is to get money by opening a business. I know how easy it is to, I don't want to say easy, it sounds a little, but I know how, with the right steps, how it is to have wealth, not a wage. Having wages and hourly wage, there's nothing wrong with that because we all needed it at some point. But to me, I look at wages as very minimal, and I my capacity of information is in my brain is too large to just sit up here and share it and be selfish. And the reason why I wanted to create Beauty Boss Millionaire is because I want other bosses to be millionaires. I believe that there should be more millionaires. There's a great gap between millionaires and the regular person that is making less than 50,000 a year, 40,000 a year. Nobody should be making less than $20,000 a year here. And you can easily make well over that with a business. So this passion of mine, once I found God, and I remember I was in church and the pastor prayed over me. He said, this woman is going to open a business and she's going to be successful almost overnight. And everyone in the church started screaming and clapping. And I'm working at the Dollar Tree or some store like, how is this going to happen? Lord, you better do something because I don't know what he's talking about. And shortly after that, I ended up opening a business, not thinking that was what he was talking about because you never really know what these people are saying until it dawns on you later on. And sure enough, my business was a success overnight. And I was within 1 year, I was making over 100,000. And then after that, it went up to 200,000. After that, 300,000, and it started going up from there. And then I surpassed the $1 million mark, and I started doing more than that. I got up to more millions, and I couldn't believe it because here I was not too long ago wondering how I was going to pay my light bill because our light bill got cut off. When I was younger, my mom was a great mother, and I'll never take that from her. She did the best she could do. She told us to stay clean. She told us to look good. She told us to present ourselves well. And she knew that in life, we needed to present ourselves well. That's what she knew. But she didn't have the business side to it. But my aunt in New York City, she had the business side to it, Dr. Rosetta Gary's, who's in Harlem. She had the business side to it. But a lot of times people that are in business, they can't help you until you get around them more. And so that's why I had to really go to New York. I was going there every summer to visit my dad and my aunts and my uncles and my family. But my aunt kind of took me up under her wing and said, look, I'm going to show you how to surpass this mark of just several $100,000. And she said, this is what you got to do. And she coached me. She was so rough on me. I remember she was so tough on me. I cried so many nights because she was just so hard on me. But she helped me become the woman I am today. And my mom helped me become the woman I am today because she taught me compassion, understanding. My aunt, she's not that compassionate. She's like, next. Like she's a true New Yorker. And not to say she's not. She is very loving. She does a lot of stuff in the community, but she'll tell you like it is. My mom won't do that. My mom will kind of be nice about it. My aunt was like, oh, that was a dumb move. Next. Like she's really like a New Yorker. She'll just tell you. And Beauty Boss Millionaire really was created to help other women be bosses, to empower. And I told them in the podcast in the beginning, I'm going to give you the raw truth on what you need to do because I needed that raw truth when it was time for me to learn. And in business, you're going to have to move quick sometimes. Sometimes you're going to have to just make a split decision based off your logic. Sometimes you're going to have to go with your gut. There's no recipe because it's your gift in your life. So there's nobody can tell you what to do because you have your own intellect and your own ability of what you can handle, what you can't. So I see someone actually asked a question really quick. Rocky 57 Dog says, I have several ideas for a small business, but I am having a hard time narrowing it down to just one business. How do I know which one to choose? Any suggestions? I really do like helping people. Do you have any suggestions, Toni?
Well, I get that question asked by a lot of people a lot. And I mean, I don't know that she's launched any one of those businesses yet. But if you haven't launched the business, one of the things that I can tell you is I would do a little bit of market research and try to get some people together so that you can validate whatever it is that you want to actually go out there and offer to people, because sometimes we jump out there and we want to do something, but it's not really a viable business idea. You could also go to SCORE and get, some mentors, and they can help you walk through the process. But if it's something that maybe you've already tried to start and maybe something generated a little money but not a lot of money, you can also do the time and money test, and basically, give your ideas a score. Which one has generated the most money, which one is going to generate less time and more money, or more time and less money. And then you can see how it pans out from the test. And if you've started something and it is started to generate income, then that shows you that there's some viability to that idea, and you really should do more of that. So, but if you haven't launched any of your business ideas yet and they're just in the formulation phase, I would do some market research and get some people together and really test the viability of it. Because I know someone who is, now want to work on a magazine, but right now the magazine business is really kind of, is fledging. So, I mean, it's not that there's not that much I can offer for that, because people are not really printing as many magazines as they used to anymore. So you really want to, work on that viability piece first with your idea before you go launch into the deep. What do you say to that, Felicia?
I agree with you. You want to make sure that you have something that, you know, can make money and not something that's a little outdated, which I don't think, Rocky Dog 57, I don't think, I don't know a lot about in the terms of helping people exactly what is that with, outreach. Are you caring for someone, things like that. But I would say that when you narrow it down to just one, you might want to run yourself through a series of tests to see what you really like. And if there's a business out there that's similar to what you're thinking of doing, maybe go and work for them for a little bit, or see if you can do an internship, or see if you can kind of maybe just look at their model and see if there's something that you would want to do. Because a lot of times people will look at a business and see if this can be something that they can do. So the best way to know is, study it in detail and see if you would really be passionate about it. Because a lot of people don't know this about me. I love humans. I love people. I love kids. But I actually had a daycare at first. It was like my first business that I had. I had a daycare, but for some reason it didn't work out for me. Like, I actually, to this day, always wonder why, but I guess it wasn't my calling. But I actually knew I wanted to start a business, and I had this little daycare. I only had it for like maybe 6 months, and I had like two kids, and I was so passionate. I was going to get the kids, feeding the kids with my own money. Like, see, my passion is to help people too, but it was like the mom was like, the kids always want to be at your house. This is too much. Like, they were like mad, they were actually really upset because the kid, I spoil people really bad. And so it was to the point where I was giving too much. I'm a person, I'll give my all and don't even care. I won't look twice because that's just who I am. God has made me be a helper, but it wasn't really my calling. My calling was more to be in the business arena to help people. So definitely find out what is truly your passion as far as helping people, because from there you'll know. And if something doesn't feel right, don't feel bad about it. Like me, I had to close my little daycare. It was only open for a little bit. And I moved on to opening up for Constantly Lashes, which is still open to this day. And I just look back like, I tried. That didn't work for me. So don't be afraid to try some things, but just don't give up. And whatever it is, don't give up. Find something that you are passionate about. And if you feel like you're still going with it, you still wake up excited about it and it's making money, then continue to do that. But if it's not working, you're not making any money, because you got to make money still, then you just have to know what's making you happy and making some money.
That's right. That's right.
I think
Jazzy?
that was a great answer. Hey guys, I think that was an awesome answer, and I'll just kind of share my experience in the last year or so, and why I decided to start off with JazzCast Pros, because there are so many people that have such great stories that can inspire people and motivate and uplift and entertain, and all of the great things that podcasts allow us to do. But with my 20 plus years of experience being in radio and television and post production as well, I found that I get the greatest joy of shining light on people. I actually had a casting company, JR Galactic Casting, out of Michigan. And for the 2 years where Michigan had the highest tax incentive at 42%, we were booming. We had business booming until we had a new governor come in. He kind of shut it down. But my point is that I was able to cast people, just everyday people who were kind of interested in becoming an actor, and giving them their first taste to being on set. And some of them went on, moved to Atlanta, moved to New Orleans, moved to Hollywood or Chicago, where there was more opportunities for them. And I still get messages and thank you notes from these people just for giving them that little bit of push. So for me and for podcasting, it's something that I love to do. I love to edit. I love to tell stories and keep people motivated. And if I can shine a light on somebody, like a Toni Coleman Brown, like a Felicia Fracassi, like a Kelly Marie from the Front Seat Life, that is something that I am so happy to do. And some people will look at me like, Jazzy, you are the host, you are the radio personality. Like, why don't you just create your own podcast? And I said, because if I can share 3 stories from 3 different people in 3 walks of life every single week, that's 3 times as impact of anything that I could do personally. And, just to know that I have fun with the production side of it. Some people, it's just, a burden. And so that's why I really created JazzCast Pros. And I'm just so blessed and honored that I have, Kelly and Felicia as my first 2 clients. And I'm just looking forward to seeing that grow. And Rocky 57 is actually my mom. So that's Karen, if you want to address her by name. And she's just, yeah, she's actually been talking to me about possibly doing a t-shirt company. She has some ideas of some inspiring names and logos and sayings and different things like that, and just try to get that whole thing started. So she's definitely a sponge, and that's why I'm not surprised she jumped on here. So
I love that she jumped on here. First of all, that's so dope. I didn't even know that with her. Wow. But yeah, you're right. Jazzy, you really do a good job on making sure that people are seen and heard. I didn't even know you had that gift. I knew you always had that producer gift, but girl, you blew it out the water during this quarantine. Because I said, what in the world? Jazzy's got this whole gift of, I told you, I said it because God has showed me producer. When I would see you, God would say producer. I hear my spirit say producer. And I'm like, why am I keep hearing this? And then here we are several months later doing a whole podcast where you're my producer.
That's right. I wouldn't have it any other way. I wouldn't have you working with anybody else.
You don't play around. She's like, Lisa, let's go. And it's so funny because she motivates me, because even though I'm a boss woman in my own right, I'm more focused on like the business and the operations. And it's be careful when y'all entrepreneurs are getting so busy that you don't get stuck in the operations. You don't want the business to run you. You want to run the business. But what Jazzy did, JazzCast Pros, she took it from me doing what I do and all the knowledge that I have, and turned it so I can turn it towards the audience. I came to her, I said, look, I want to do a podcast. I've been wanting to do one, but I just don't have the time. because I'm very busy, and most business owners are busy, just like you. You know, you're so busy, Toni. I can just tell by reading your bio, your hands are full.
Yeah.
And you know, that's why some people just release one maybe once a week. I at first was like, oh, maybe I'll just do this, you know, twice a week, what I can handle. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to give my all. I say I'm one of those girls where it's all or nothing. I give my all up beyond 5 days a week, off on the weekends, just to kind of give people content, because I had all this wisdom I was just sitting on. So it's important that people like Jazzy think about people like us and help us get, you know, our mission out there and our vision and our voice. So thank you so much.
Yeah, that's awesome. And yeah, thank you. This has been amazing. I mean, I'm on the Podbean platform and I didn't even realize that we had all of these tools available to us. So I was just like, oh my God, this is so cool. I'm definitely going to be doing more live podcasting shows. And I mean, the one thing that I love about podcasting, and I'm sure you notice this, Jazzy, is so consumable, right? I love that people can consume it in so many different ways that are not intrusive. They can consume it when they're working out or when they're commuting and things like that. And also, I love the fact that there's not billions of them like there are billions of websites out there. So there's still opportunities for people to really grow and be discovered. And I love the innovation part of it. So this has been awesome though. Thank you, ladies.
Yes, thank you so much for taking the time out. I know you're busy. Thank you for even speaking with us on Beauty Boss Millionaire. And just remember, if you guys really enjoyed this live Boss Talks episode where we're just talking with bosses, women that are doing amazing things in the business arena, like this, share, subscribe. Where can we find you at, Toni?
Definitely, you can social media, Toni Coleman Brown. I also have a website, ToniColemanBrown.com, and also the Network for Women in Business.com, and social media network for women in business. Yeah, Facebook. We have a lot of followers on Facebook, so definitely check us out there. That's one of my favorite places to play. Instagram, same thing, Network for Women in Business or Toni Coleman Brown.
Thank you so much. And thank you all for tuning in to Beauty Boss Millionaire with the Bosses episode. Thank you so much, everyone.
At the Aim to Win in Business and Life podcast, we believe that in life, you're either winning or learning and never losing. We bring to you episodes that are meant to inspire and encourage you to win in business and life. We discuss a variety of topics that range from entrepreneurship to lifestyle. You can expect to get practical advice about business, productivity hacks, social media advice, and so much more. We believe that people are like elevators. They either lift you up or pull you down, but they never leave you the same. Our goal is quite simple, and that's to lift you up. So arise, champions, and get ready to win with the Aim to Win in Business and Life podcast. Make sure to subscribe and share, and we will see you on our next show.